Welcome back, my fellow people, man. We are back here with some amazing, amazing topics. Hopefully, you are ready to hear these amazing topics. Isn't that right, Joe?
Yeah, it's an exciting week.
It's definitely in exciting week. So, on this week's podcast, we are actually gonna be talking about Apple's AR headset. So, what do you think about this AR headset, Joe?
I'm really excited about it. I hope it's really premium. Like I really hope that they push the limits. Like even if it's really expensive, then like it can compete with the Vive and it can compete with Facebook's Oculus.
Mm-hmm.
And the more at the higher end, then
Yep.
everything trickles down.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
my one of my friends got into VR over the summer, and my brother's been into VR for like 4 or 5 years.
Mhm.
But I almost jumped on the VR bandwagon like 2 or 3 months ago. But like the high went down, and then I was like, I'm not sure I really want to spend like a few $100s on a VR headset at the moment.
Interesting.
But this
It
one looks pretty cool. It looks like a lot of really big specs on the Apple one.
yeah, I do like the way the design is. I do like all that features that it has, and the way man, it's just amazing just think, and it even has the Apple logo behind it like a phone. Apple's branding themselves, and I like that they're making it so lightweight. I don't know if you looked into it for further, Joe. Like it's going to be very very lightweight.
Yeah, which I find that hard, because like it's cool, right? Keep doing that, right? But at the same time, if you want to push the specs, because there's some pretty expensive stuff they're talking about here. They're talking about 6 camera lenses, a lidar scanner, a TOF scanner, an 8K video recording. Um, you know, and so that's I don't know. That's it's pretty extensive. Like AK video recording. I don't really get that because it's gonna be VR. So they're gonna be you can record AK whatever you're like viewing.
Yeah, should be. AK is like
Just
the
like
new thing in the future.
yeah, and yeah. So the
Next,
pricing was gonna be outrageous at first,
off.
like the
Yeah,
rumors.
yeah, definitely. And I'm kind of wondering what the prices are going to be at starting off at when actually it gets released. Right now, they're just speculating the pricing, but I wonder what actually it's going to be at and how. Oh, also another thing, Joe. Like, what do you think about the battery life on it? Is it going to be right now that there's been some kind of speculation on that? What do you think about the battery?
Um, mm, it's always a trade off, right? If you do the battery life right, you're probably your specs are gonna be lower, right? Like the resolution and the frame rate and everything's gonna be lower.
Yep.
And if you really want to do VR, you need to still be connected. So I don't know. I hope the battery life is awesome. I don't I'm not the greatest judge on it. My friend has used like the Oculus, and he liked it, but then he upgraded to the Vive because he didn't want to be tied into one ecosystem. So hopefully Apple doesn't follow what Facebook did. You know, they don't have
Yeah.
a complete separate ecosystem, which they probably will because they have like
Yeah.
their own music ecosystem and stuff. But I think personally, I think that limits the Oculus and Apple's VR if they do that.
Yeah.
Because my friend
Definitely.
went from the Oculus to the Vive because he wanted to be able to play he wanted to be able to buy a lot of sorry, want to be able to buy a lot of Steam games, and he didn't want to be, you know, stuck just with Facebook's store page.
Yeah. Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
what do you think about the battery life? What have you heard?
That I heard it might be power consuming. Like you said, it's gonna be an issue there, but I think over time that it's a possibility that they could actually improve it. But I don't really if you're gonna be doing 8K, I really don't see how you're gonna save battery life. because 8K uses a lot of power consumption. Because in order to pull graphics, in order to pull CPU usage and all that stuff, you're gonna pull a lot of power.
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
So I think like, I don't know, half an hour, an hour, you know,
Maybe I give it about that
because
same thing you said.
you have to have 90 frames per second, otherwise you get nauseous. So if it's doing, I don't know what's 8K, you have to do 8K 90 frames per second. That's like currently nothing can do that really. I mean, if you're talking like a really low grade game that like low, you know, like low pixel, you know what I mean? That doesn't require like a lot of doesn't have a lot of visual effects.
Aren't
Like
majority
it's like League
of
of
the
Legends
games,
8K or something?
isn't like majority of the games like 120 hertz or 120 FPS? Some games.
No. I mean, a lot of games again, you know, sometimes some games they lock it at 60, some, you know, but like it's a VR game, it's specifically built for VR, then like, you know, 90 plus.
Uh-huh.
But I was saying just like, yeah, so you have to get the 90 frames, and then also you know, if the system can't do it, you just have like less visual awesomeness, like less shadows, less other things, you know, less shiny stuff. And then you could do like 8K like Mario or something, like the old Mario Bros or something, you know?
Oh man, I can
Like
see
that
that
would be
already.
easy. That'd be easy, but you know, like do like Metro Prime in 8K would be pretty hard. Like you
Oh
can't,
man, that would.
even desktops really can't do that.
Yeah. So next other thing is, what do you think? Do you think other companies are going to be following this trend? If like we're talking about like Google, we're talking about like Samsung. Like, well, I think Samsung has their own headset. Do they?
I think they have some pretty low grade ones, you know, like maybe in the $100 to $200 range or something like that. I'm not sure if there's any. Maybe somebody else knows that there's some more expensive ones out there, but really, it's the ones that I know that are competing with each other are like the Vive and the Oculus.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like the Quest, you know,
Do
and
you
so like
think?
Quest 2.
So do you think
Oh,
like
there's one
this
more out.
coming
There's
into?
one more too. I can't remember that one though.
So do you think like Apple releasing this product at 8K? Do you think that's going to change the market, or are they going to follow them?
I still have to see how it's implemented, you know? Like I still don't like understand how they can do that. You know? Like it still seems very far-fetched. Like it's really far in the future as to what 8K VR again, because
Uh
you need the
huh.
90 frames, otherwise you get nauseous.
Yep.
And I don't know, maybe that's like maybe they're just like, you know how they always like there's always a little nugget, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's 8K VR chat or something where you're like nothing's going on. Like you're just like one character looking at another character talking to each other in a box room, and then that they say, oh, it can do 8K, but it can't do much other than that for 8K.
I'm kind of wondering if you're
So
you're probably right on that. You're going into something.
looking forward to seeing what they can do. Prove me wrong, but I just, oh man, 8K. There's just
I
not.
think
I don't
I
know.
I think this is going to open up the market to other companies seeing 8K. If this is success in its first launch, I could see other companies starting to follow,
Well, I hope it expands it. Yeah.
and that will change VR industry completely. You'll probably be walking down the street and somebody playing a VR game and walking at the
Yeah.
same time.
So I'm looking. There's the Quest 2 for $400. There's the VR PlayStation for $350, and then there's the HT Vive for $700.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think there was like there's a different one that's like 1,000. And there's probably one more company that I can't remember at the moment.
Interesting. Anything else you want to bring out, Joe, about this?
No, just looking forward to Apple.
Well, congrats Apple if you become successful in this launch, and wish the best of luck. Next, we actually got a fascinating topic. It's very interesting. iMac Pro is being discontinued. So, what do you think about this? Like I know you're not too much in the Mac industry, but you do know about a little bit about products. Like, what do you think? What do you think about this product being discontinued?
I think it's them trying to um cut costs. You know, they're trying to like they're lower. You said the lower bracket, they're raising up the price a little bit, and the top bracket they're bringing down to this one. So they're going to be like it's basically like offering everybody the same thing, but you'll have to pay a little bit more. And so it's they don't it's streamlining, so they don't have to make two different products. Well, but you said though that you can customize it, right? So maybe it's just like maybe they're the amount of SKUs they had for like the two different types, it was just too
Mhm.
many. And so they just want to make one with different options within that one SKU.
Yeah, it sounds about right because when I actually bought my Mac, I actually when I my MacBook, I had a few options when my MacBook Pro. I had whenever I bought it, it gave me different options. You know, it was by RAM, by CPU, by the hard drive. You know, even the video card. I had options. You know, but the more options the more stuff I added to it, and I didn't. It's not like customized. It already pre-built. You know, you pick them up there, but you only have certain quantities you could pick, and you get to pick that option. At mine was like almost the highest one, and it was pretty pricey. The higher you go with the specs, and the more it costs. And I think that's what the company why Apple is actually getting rid of that product, so they don't have to be separating it between the two. So if you want that version, you just pick up the specs just to that spec.
Yeah, I think maybe it confused consumers too much. And then once they bought the product, they're like, "Oh, I really want this other product." Like maybe people on the shelf, compared to buying it on the internet or something, and just simplifying everything, making it like, okay, you can choose your different parts, but it's just called one thing, and we don't need to do just a waste to have the different product lines.
Yep, definitely,
Because it's like
definitely.
they're already going to do it anyway, right? They're going to put in the higher GPU or CPU or whatever. So why have another name?
Yeah. Yep. We just don't know too. I don't know too
Like
much
people
information
aren't
about
dumb.
the.
They'll see. Oh, look, you just scroll down and it's a higher cost, and there you go.
I just don't know too much information about the M1 chip. That's the one thing they haven't released if there's going to be different megahertz, or gigahertz on each processor.
Mhm.
I like me personally, I have not heard anything on the market on that, but I need to take a look deep into that and see how the M1 chip is getting.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense for Apple because Apple's doing everything, right? They're
Hmm.
doing the CPU and the GPU, so they're streamlining everything. But then, of course, like when you're just talking about like a CPU or a GPU, it makes sense that like there's i3, i5, i7, so you understand like which one's faster. So Apple will still have that kind of thing inside their computer configuration, but they don't need to confuse you with having two different configurations with like 15 options or something.
Yep.
So it's good. Less
And what do you
confusion.
think? So, like, what do you think about the price? Like, do you think the prices are going to change in this situation?
Yeah. uh, Like I think you said like they're gonna like smush the prices together. Like you'll maybe the bar to get in is a little bit more, but then the top part comes down a little bit. So like it's basically like maximizing profits for them. They think like, okay, like maybe they can like making consumers happy, thinking, oh, if I buy this, I'm gonna get all the features. Like there's no feature differentiation between the two products.
Yeah.
It's just faster or slower.
Yeah. And
Like
this would actually help them out with not having too much overhead cost on paying Intel like they were. So the products could go a
mhm,
little bit cheaper than what they used to. So that could also be another reason that they got rid of it,
yeah.
the overhead cost. That is a very interesting thing.
Yeah, that you're saying that the two differentiations is one has Intel parts and one has Apple parts. And now since
Yeah,
they're all going to be Apple parts, there's no reason to separate the two.
correct. That could be a reason. That could also be another reason too.
Sounds
And
logical.
you, and you think do you also think about the companies? Do you think the other companies are going to follow this type of method? Or you think it's they're just going to stay the same, or is it just an Apple thing? In your opinion?
I mean, I can look it up, but I think. Oh, I don't know how HP or Asus, because they have, they had the laptops, right? But I'm
Yeah.
not sure about I haven't looked at pre-built desktops because there's a lot of. No, they usually just differentiate based on the CPU and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's all they pretty much do. Yeah,
you have.
I could see them doing the same thing, but I really don't think they could actually customize their own their own CPU. But they could pretty much go with like Intel or AMD more. But I know, like in the previous podcast, one of the previous podcasts, we did talk about Ubuntu be able to use the M1 chip. I don't know if you remember that, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So while we have Joe here doing some research.
Well, yeah, Asus is I see there's two different desktop versions. One has Intel 9 processor and one has Intel 10 processor. So it's just newer versus older and then customized from there. Do you want to I think Apple does that too, you see there's an older generation of the processors and everything, and other than that, I don't know, there's a Chrome box, but I think that's more of streaming and stuff.
Yeah, also just streaming stuff. So next, go on, Joe.
No, I'm good.
So the next thing we have is I know everybody's been waiting for this. This is like a biggest thing for 2021 is the PS5 is being restocked, which is coming. It's coming. And the locations, we have the locations being revealed where they're going to be restocking. So what do you think? So what do you think about this whole PS5 restock and the locations being revealed? In your opinion?
Well, if you really want the PS5, I'm glad the restock is coming. I know that I was at Best Buy recently, and Best Buy says that Tuesdays and Saturdays are when they get their restocking. So that's kind of inside information for you guys. Tuesdays and Saturdays, if you want to, yeah. And then sometimes if you look on Monday night or something, it might be refreshed before Tuesday or something.
Go attack Target, guys.
Yeah, and
the PS5.
And then indoors, they said it was okay, well, Wednesday and Sunday, so it's there might be restocked online sooner than they are restocked in person. So he said if you come in on a Wednesday, we'll probably have it, but if we do our restocking on Tuesday.
And also, too, I read up that if you purchase it online, make sure you have your credit card and everything on hand or ready, so the site won't crash. So you can just purchase it and then just walk out of the website without it crashing. So you won't overload the servers. Yeah,
get in and out.
Get in and out. When you're in, buy it and just walk out, get off, log off. You won't cause the server to crash, and then you might not even get the PS5. You're the one that caused the crash. Maybe your purchase didn't go through, and you thought it went through. Oh, I just bought my PS5, and then when you get there at the store, no, there is no PS5, man. And you crashed the server.
I'm not sure which stores have the servers crash like that, but that's bad for business. If that happens, they should upgrade their servers, because
I think it happened on Amazon.
Because it's not just the PS5 they're not selling when that happens. It's all their products they're not selling.
Yeah, they take a big loss.
That's a lot of Don't have that bottleneck ever.
Yeah, it's they're losing cost per minute or cost per second.
I've never really experienced that, so I'm not sure which stores that happens for. But if your store shuts down like that, probably everybody's gonna go to Amazon or somewhere.
Yeah,
whoever pays for the higher servers.
Which also, didn't this happen to Amazon a few while back?
I don't remember it. If it did, do you remember it?
I swear I thought it was, but I couldn't tell. So if y'all guys know, if y'all remember something about this, let us know what company this happened to, because I swear there was something that happened recently when the market actually nobody could log in and actually make a purchase. I don't
Yeah,
remember where.
tell us which companies are, which companies like fall apart, when there's too many people using them.
Yeah, it was crazy. This is crazy. And also too, uh, what do you think? Hold on, quick. What do you think this is gonna be a good thing or a bad thing, Joe? Like, this whole restocking. Do you think it's gonna help the company or it's gonna make them get more negative?
No, it's awesome. Awesome. More supply. And, like, I mean, the better, the more supply of PS5s are out there, the cheaper, like all the PC parts will be available because people are buying that instead of the PC parts because it's plus or minus, right? Like if all the PC parts are there, then maybe people will buy less consoles and vice versa.
Yeah. Also,
And
too,
anybody who
right?
wants the PS5, I don't want them. It's sad. I don't want them not to be able to buy one. So if they have the money for it, go buy it. But low supply doesn't help anybody.
Yeah. All this
Doesn't help the
supply is because the
company, and
human.
it doesn't help the gamer. It doesn't. It's sad.
Yeah. All this supply is because of the issue that we're dealing with right now with the whole
Definitely.
the human malware that we've been talking about for the last pretty much year. If you've pretty much been up to date with the human malware, it's still here. Just there's a lot of supply and demand needed
Yeah,
for this stuff.
it is a time to reflect to say, can you be appreciative and you know eh, use what you have right now.
Yeah,
And if you do,
definitely.
and if you do get it, it'd be like, oh, wow, that's awesome. Like you won the
Yep,
lottery ticket by.
yep. Because you
Otherwise,
know
you'll
how
get it
many.
next year.
Yeah, there's millions of people that are still trying to get it. So if you end up getting it, you're one of the lucky ones. I'll be glad if you get one. But
Yeah, invite your
also
friends
too,
over.
yeah, also too, we're gonna be revealing the locations. Joe, you want to let them know what locations they're gonna be revealing besides Target because you gave us the insider
Oh
Tuesdays
no,
and
that was Best
Thursdays.
Buy.
Best Buy. So if you go ahead and
Yep.
tech, not my bad, guys. No tech Target, tech Best Buy. So go ahead and
So,
let us know with the other ones, Joe.
Walmart, Amazon, Target, Sony, B&H Photo, Newegg, Adorama, and Sam's Club.
And
And then
then in
in
Canada,
Canada, there's also Amazon and Walmart with Best Buy.
and then you
With
got the UK as well. It's
Yeah,
pretty
with
much
UK is Amazon. This company called Very, John Lewis, Argos, Currys, and Box.
if you haven't gone out there to those sites, go ask them when is their inventory stocking updates, and go and get going during that time and take a look
Yeah,
because you never
strike up a
know.
conversation for a minute before then, and then ask that question.
Yeah, you don't want to just attack a worker because you don't want to be like kind of rude.
Being polite goes a long way. Like they want to help a customer out. If you're being rude, you're not going to get that information probably.
Yeah, it's
They'll
all
say,
about it's all about
come back when we have it."
it's all about presentation, man. All about presentation. And also too, if you become friends with one of the workers, you might just get inside scoops of all the latest stuff that gets released before anybody else does, even us.
Oh, that'd be nice.
It would. What do you also too? Uh do you think they're gonna be like limiting number, like very low numbers, or do you think they're gonna be keeping a high number of quantity in store stocks, like for the products? Like, are they gonna keep like just maybe like 50 of them, 25 of them, because maybe one of the workers are stealing them or something like that? Do you think that's gonna happen? In your
I
in
don't
your
know.
in your thought?
I, I'm thinking about this more than I have before in terms of there was something that I wanted to buy recently, and it said it wasn't in a store, and it said it couldn't be shipped, and it's like there's a pendulum between only letting people buy it in store or online or a combination of the two.
Hmm.
I think it's gotta be a balancing act. And I think that they maybe don't the balancing act doesn't really exist because um it's just too time consuming to do it. Like as a seller, right? You could put
Yeah.
all of your stuff online and not care about what happens, and then everybody could like put it on eBay and try to charge you 3 times the price.
Oh man, that
Or
we
you could
just
try
talked
to
about that.
be or you could have some loyal customers in that city who can actually go to the store. But then what if over time those people they don't go to the store? They're looking online and you haven't updated. I think I told you this like Micro Center, usually from
Hmm.
what I've seen, they have a lot more in store that they don't even mention on their website that's in store.
Yeah.
Like they have like an online store for Micro Center and then they have the store that you can choose. But
Yep. Yep.
a lot of times the inventory online doesn't get updated. And so there's
Yeah.
stuff on the shelves that isn't being sold because people like to buy stuff online or vice versa, like they
Correct.
get there and they don't know it's there.
Yep. Definitely. Definitely. I've seen that happen a lot.
And so you don't want product not sold. So
Yep.
so there is that
Also,
thing. Like maybe nobody in that city wants to buy the PS5, which is unlikely, but that could happen.
also, I found out through Target, one of the Target's employees, that they're allowed to sell products, even they're not in store, up to a
Mhm.
certain number. So if they have like maybe because they know what's coming in the next delivery, so they'll say, you know what, we can sell at least 10 more, and then we'll put it sold out after anything after that. So we have to wait till they have to wait till the next delivery comes in.
Yeah.
I found that out
You
through
did
inside.
you did that is like the hybrid model that you just mentioned that I didn't even think about. Is people who go in the store, right? Because you're still supporting people who go into your stores and buy other stuff, right?
Hmm. Yep.
People who like they're just not going to buy the PS5. They're going to go in there and buy the PS5 and a few DVDs and whatever else, right? Because they're there and just like, oh, it's like impulse buying.
Yep.
But by letting somebody in the store get priority for something that you would put online,
Yeah.
it's like the best of both worlds. You're supporting local, but also you can ship it wherever. It's like you taking
Yeah.
it from the online inventory because it was going to be sold anyway online, and you're going to support like that store's going to be like, oh yeah, I have a loyal customer here. It's not just somebody who's going to sell it on eBay.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because I don't want to push them away for like 50 other items they can buy my store just because I don't have the PS5. Because consumers know which companies don't care and let scalping take over. And then some of those people they do sometimes support companies that make sure that people actually can get it in store.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
So yeah,
Okay.
hopefully
Well.
those shortages don't last for too long.
Yeah. Definitely. I hope everything after this human malware. Hopefully everything goes back to normal with all the stocking up and everything back up to the way we used to have it. Always on supply.
Yeah, because the PS5 is pretty sweet and all those cool 4K games and stuff.
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely. So this is it, guys. This is gonna wrap up the podcast. It's a very short podcast. So if you have any other questions, guys, make sure you comment down below and we'll try to respond to you in the next video. So peace. See ya.
Ciao.